Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Hopefully, we all had a wonderful weekend and we're all, having a good start to the new week. As we begin to round out June, we've got a pretty interesting day ahead for a lot of us here through the Mid Atlantic and specifically the Carolinas, especially. I think we could have quite a dangerous day for a lot of folks with many different hazards, but we're going to see some really big hail today. I'll tell you, somebody kind of from Columbia up through Raleigh in that general corridor likely is going to see hail upwards of 2 inches in diameter. And once you get into that kind of diameter of hail, that really is able to begin to dent cars, take out windshields, and is definitely life-threatening if you're stuck out in a storm of that magnitude. So I've got today's video out a little bit early because I will be storm chasing here in kind of the Charlotte and Columbia metro through this evening and into the overnight a little bit as well, hoping for some really impressive structure, which I think I'll get, and just maybe a quick brief tornado somewhere in there. But really today is going to be all about that hail and damaging wind. And if we do get a tornado, that'll really just kind of be bit of the cherry on top, if you will. So we're going to talk about that today. Also going to talk a little bit more about this week up ahead, but this really won't be a super in-depth video because unfortunately I'm having to record this relatively early so I can get out of here in time to get to whatever storms I'm trying to get to. So I'm not really able to analyze this afternoon's models because they just haven't run yet. So we'll be doing this on a little bit of old data, but this is still pretty relevant, and we'll use what we have. So anyway, taking a look at satellite here and what we're seeing out there right now, it's a pretty classic setup for some June severe weather. Big time low pressure spinning away here over the Great Lakes, especially over kind of the Detroit area right now. And with that, you have a couple different things that we're looking at. One is kind of the surface-based cold front back here, and that's beginning to push eastbound. But in front of that, look at all of this sun coming out here into the western Carolinas, up into sections of Virginia. This is allowing plenty of atmospheric fuel to build up, and with that, whenever this front does finally move on through and crosses the mountains this afternoon, that is going to likely trigger some convection to rise rapidly, and with that, we're going to see some pretty explosive storms fire up this afternoon. And again, I think the structure on these are going to be absolutely insane. I'm hoping to get a couple of drone shots of these things as they're moving on through, because these could be really some classic supercells and really some structure that we're not too accustomed to into the Carolinas. So as for radar right now, we are dealing with some scattered showers and even some rumbles of thunder up into the Midwest and the Northeast, and that will continue as this low pressure slowly drifts off to the east over the next day or two. But south of there is where we're going to have that big time severe weather threat kind of in this corridor, and specifically I think really in this corridor here that I have circled from Columbia to Charlotte up towards Greensboro, back towards Raleigh, and even into the eastern Carolinas as we go into this evening. So definitely watching that area. There's a lot of disagreement in the models, I'll tell you. So, don't rule out some, stronger storms obviously up to the north. And in fact, the Storm Prediction Center has an enhanced risk kind of through this area right here. So obviously listen to what they have to say, but I really think we're going to get the most impressive storms kind of in this corridor right here today. So speaking of that Storm Prediction Center forecast, a big enhanced risk today from southern New Jersey through Philadelphia back down towards D.C., Baltimore, Richmond, even into the Greensboro and Raleigh area. But that slight and marginal risk expands even further from the Florida Panhandle all the way up through Boston, Massachusetts. So again, a lot of areas to look out for today, and even a slight risk down here into sections of Louisiana as well this afternoon, where we could get some stronger storms to fire off. So let's look at future radar here. We're going to use the high resolution rapid refresh model, and the NAM and this model have been in a lot of disagreement, but the high resolution rapid refresh is just updating more frequently, so it really is the newest data that we have. So we will take a look at that. So again, obviously we have all these showers and storms up into the Northeast and Midwest, and really the Great Lakes region in general, I should say. That will continue through this evening, but once we get into 3, 4, 5 o'clock, expect storms to fire off the Appalachian chain down here, and these are the storms we have to watch out for to become quite strong to severe, and those will continue to trek eastbound throughout the evening hours. This is 7 o'clock I'm showing you here. Notice these kind of more discrete cells on the high resolution rapid refresh model, and what this tells me is they have even more of a potential for large hail and maybe a brief isolated tornado. Now, the NAM is a bit different. The NAM kind of really quickly congeals all of these together into a line of storms, and that is also a very real possibility. If we get that to happen, a little bit less of a hail threat and a bit more of a wind threat. So we will definitely watch that as well, but nonetheless, there will be strong damaging storms today. And you'll notice we could get kind of even a couple rounds of these this evening. Likely the first round will move on through, but once we get past sunset into about 10 o'clock, expect another round to fire off behind that, once again into the Western Carolinas and Southwestern Virginia. So you might get a 1-2 punch for some folks today as this moves on through. Now, the good news is, as we get through tonight and into tomorrow morning, that clears out, and tomorrow will likely be overall a nicer day for a lot of folks into tomorrow afternoon. Although still can't rule out another round of those storms tomorrow afternoon closer to the coast into eastern North Carolina, eastern Virginia, and into kind of the Delmarva. Now, unfortunately, if you're up in the Northeast, these showers and storms are going to hang on for a couple of days. Again, this is going into tomorrow afternoon, still dealing with those showers and storms, and likely even into our Wednesday morning, still dealing with some of those showers and storms. The one good news, though, is the dew points will come down behind this cold front, so that will definitely help things feel a bit nicer outside. Now, looking at the overall pattern that we're dealing with going into this week, again, this is that big storm system that we're dealing with today that will cause some severe weather as well as into tomorrow. But what I want you to notice is the overall pattern here that we have with this blue. We're getting kind of this flow from the Pacific riding up through the Rockies and into the plains and into the East Coast. And that's why we're getting this kind of train of storms to move on through, and you'll notice this will continue. So again, I think going into Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, we'll get a little bit of a lull in the action, and it might even feel a bit nicer outside. But once we get into our Friday and Saturday, notice another area of this blue crosses over into the east, and we once again could be dealing with some severe weather going into next weekend as well as early the following week. So definitely be watching that. That could impact some 4th of July plans and any weekend plans we have for this coming weekend, so we will definitely watch that. Also, this is way out there, but I did just want to mention it because, again, this is in the 4th of July time frame. There are some hints at maybe something trying to maybe form in the Gulf a little bit out there, but again, it's pretty far out there, so we'll have plenty of time to monitor that. Just want to mention it because it is during a pretty popular vacation time there near the 4th of July. So taking a look at future radar now as we go through this week, we'll pick up into Wednesday afternoon where we left off on our other model. Again, you'll notice Wednesday afternoon, a bit of a lull in the east. Again, some scattered showers depending on where you're at, specifically in the northeast and along the Mississippi River Valley. But other than that, a pretty nice day Wednesday. Thursday afternoon, once again, a pretty nice day. But once we get into Friday afternoon and that low pressure gets a little bit closer, we're going to have flow here that is allowing kind of a couple trains of storms to kind of ride along this flow, and that once again could increase the chance of some stormy weather into the southeast, the Ohio River Valley, as well as the Great Plains, and that could continue into our Saturday as well with pretty widespread scattered storms, some of which could be severe, and into our Sunday as well when we get more of a kind of defined cold front like we are seeing right now as well as what we saw yesterday. So watching next weekend once again for the potential of some severe weather for some folks before that cold front sweeps on through going into our 4th of July week. So taking a look at dew points, again, I think we'll get a bit of a lull going into kind of tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, and maybe even Thursday afternoon. But after that, you'll kind of notice these purple rather, colors kind of returning to the forecast, meaning muggy weather and more summer-like weather going into this weekend. And once again, those could help fuel some stronger storms as well. And you'll notice even into the medium and long range, that holds on for a while. So I think we're going to definitely be getting into more of a normal summertime pattern here as we get into the first week of July. So again, that's all I've got for you today, but I did want to get out a video because I didn't tell you yesterday I'd be storm chasing today because I really didn't think I'd be able to, but luckily I was able to get off of work. So I'm going to go out there and, hope for the best. Hopefully I see something pretty cool, and I'll definitely keep you posted on Twitter. You can follow me there where I will, obviously keep you updated. And of course, during tomorrow's video, we will talk about what I saw. So with that said, hope you have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see you all tomorrow.